Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Jew and Fred Open My podcast. One that we are very excited to invite one of our returning guests to our podcast. This is the Jew and Fred Open My podcast. We are here every Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Today's discussion is going to be very much exciting. We're going to be looking into um, w- a discussion that is really talk about into our culture, into our environment, in our society in general. And welcome to our to the Drew and Fred podcast, Sunday.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Mr. Alfred.
Okay, great. How's your New Year for your end so far?
Uh, you say my new year?
Yeah, how's it been?
Well, the year just started. We had a couple of resolutions for the year, and which we are hoping to achieve. I mean, we just starting to put some discipline in place and committing ourselves to daily study of the Word of God and you know planning our what to achieve this year and stuff like that. But so far, family wise, the New Year's doing great. Things seems to be great this year. But we don't know what was ahead. But we're hoping that God will help us to have a successful.
Absolutely, absolutely. So let's just jump into this to the discussion. Yeah, onto this topic. Yeah, today should be, I think, episode 8 of the Dream Fair Open My podcast. Overcoming peer pressure in the adolescence and early adulthood. Um, you know, Peer pressure is something that we all can relate to one way and the other, be it school, financial situation, and just in society in general. What do you think of this topic?
Well, I think this is a very essential discussion. Peer pressure is something that we need to talk about because a lot of people have become what they didn't resist, and even though it wasn't meant for them, but they found themselves in the wrong crowd, they found themselves among the wrong people, and they got negatively influenced, and um, they found themselves now at a place of regret. And some people make bad choices based on, like I said, influence by peer pressure and stuff like that.
Yep,
And this is why we're here today to shed light on this topic so that other people out there listening to us can at least learn some things that we have to say and be a help to whatever situation they are dealing with right now, especially those that are dealing with peer pressure. But I think it's an amazing topic.
perfect. Um, Jisu, are you ready to jump right in?
Exciting. Yeah, I mean, it's great again to have you here Sunday on this
Thank
wonderful
you.
show today. I think I've already introduced you. Again, welcome and thank you everyone, our audience out there, for tuning in again this morning to another amazing broadcast, talk show as we call it. And we have another amazing, you know, uh an exciting discussion. I don't know, but this topic is so it's so relatable. I think this is something that I would say about 90, 95, or 99% of adolescents or adults and young people face, regardless of you know whatever side of it, you know, because we looking at peer pressure in general. If you try to categorize it, there are positive and negative side of the influences. So it can be positive, it can be negative. So regardless of whatever side or you have experienced, this is something that really needs to be talked about, and it's something that is not really fluently talked about, within our environment, within our settings, even within our schools and our homes and other places that we have been. So we see it as a need for us to talk about it this morning. So hope every one of you feel comfortable with this conversation, and we will be glad and excited to hear from the audience too as well as we go through today. um but yeah, I mean, this is it. I think the big question today concerning this topic is, oops, yeah, there you go. What is peer pressure and why does it happen? Um, and I think just like we said, and I think Sonic kick it off early, but I'll just give a little bit description. This is something that it has to do with an influence that you face as a person. It be it from your close friends, from classmates, from your school, your jobs, even from your community. These are things that many young people are facing or they face maybe at some point in their life. And now looking at, I think yesterday we were kind of making reference to the society and the environment that we find ourselves in now, where social media is like the order of the day. You know what I'm saying? This is something that a lot of people face now, most especially from the social media side of life. So, I mean, let's discuss it. Let's hear let's get some views on it. I know Afra, you have something to say. Sonia will have something to say as well. So I don't know who will go first, but let's hear from you, Afra, and then Sonia will go, and then probably I'll have one or two thoughts on as well.
I mean, yeah. Um, in the just a simple term, we would say peer pressure is something wherein let's give a simple example. You see someone doing something, and you want to either emulate it or become like it, or even let's say just uh, just basically copy that style, everything about it, and admiring it, and deciding to do it. You know, so not just admiring it, but like doing it as well, which can
Right.
have some level of consequences because there are obviously a consequence in anything you do. So if you admire someone doing something and you try to do it or try to copy that style and make become that thing, we say that you are following um, the pressure of whatever you are saying that is influencing your activities and that is motivating your action and every other steps that follows.
Right, right, absolutely, absolutely. Let's hear from you, Sunday. What you have to say about this as well?
Thank you, Mr. Robert. I mean, peer pressure is a broad topic. One way or the other, we have explained it, but to directly answer the question that we have displayed, what is peer pressure? Peer pressure is being influenced by someone or a group of people to act a certain way. You find yourself in an environment where this is something you don't want to do, but because everybody's doing it, you feel that social pressure to do it. And to address why it
Yeah.
happens, I mean, it happens for numerous reasons. There are so many reasons that peer pressure happens. And one of the reasons is a fear of rejection. Everybody wants to feel accepted. When you find yourself in a cycle, a group of friends, a ministry, school, workplaces, you want to feel accepted, not rejected. Imagine you go to work and your bosses don't want to talk to you, or you go to school, nobody want to be your friend, or at the church, nobody want to, associate with you. That will make you feel like you don't belong there. And so for the fact that you want to, feel accepted and not rejected, you start to like, start to do the things you see them do. And some of the reason can also be, that social desire, um, and lack of self-confidence. A lot of people that are dealing with lack of self-confidence, like you need people to validate everything you do. You don't have that self-confidence. You need validation all the time. Whatever you
Right.
want to do, and you don't have that mind, that confidence within yourself that you are capable enough to achieve something by yourself. Even if you would need help from other people, but trying to get that help from the right people. A lot of people don't have self confidence, so they find themselves being influenced by other people to do the things they want to do, and sometimes they end up doing it the wrong way or mixing up with the wrong crowd. And like I said, um, reward system is something that a teenager brain is like, oh, I'm doing the things because I know I'm going to have, you know, this set of reward. I'm going to get this out of the action. Oh, I see my friends, they got a gold chain. You see that man
Right.
just 16 years old and he driving Bugatti. And that guy is just 18 years old and he has a
Mm.
Lamborghini. You know what I'm saying? I want to do whatever it takes
Right.
to get the same thing. So there are numerous of reasons peer pressure happening, and this is the reason why we are here this morning to, shed light on those reasons.
Perfect. Just to lay from your end, what do you think
Yeah.
about
Absolutely. I mean, you. Yeah, for sure. You guys a lot already. It's just the mindset of trying to conform to setting system, or let's say uh setting environment or setting attitude or behavior or something like that. And also, like you guys said, it can be directly or indirectly, and the direct side is when someone try to tell you something to do, right? And you feel pressure to do it because one, maybe you have that sense of fear, or two, because you feel that what that person told you to do is the right thing. You know what I'm saying? And then sometimes the indirect side of it is where, like Sonny just shared, you see the left side of your pain. You you trying to fit into that as well. You know what I'm saying? Like you feel like, okay, um, my friends are doing this and everything is going well. I think I can try it too. I think I can do it too. And and you start to put yourself in this kind of situation. So it's something that like we all have said, it's something that affects our young generation especially. And a lot of time I would say, to be sincere, um it really, I mean, it's play a factor, but I think it is mostly influential on young people as compared to older people. Most of the time, and like we said, early adulthood as well, probably like in your mid 20s and something like that. A lot of times these things also affect you because at that point of your life is where you more likely interacting with more people. You have become more versatile, and maybe you find yourself in a career where you see a lot of people are into it and doing some other things, and then you start to be influenced by what those people are doing within that particular environment. And a lot of time it also affect people in schools, like young kids in school, or young people in school. That's one of the main area that it kind of affect people because, man, to be honest, school is very, 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 very challenging, bro. I mean, not challenging in a negative way, but challenging in the sense of you being quickly adaptable to things to things in that particular setting, like things you see, things you hear. or people you interact with and all of these stuff. So a lot of time, most of our young people are mostly, you know, pressure within that area or within that environment to adapt to certain habits or behavior that's not correct. And because they were not taught about it, or they were not taught, like, the negative side of it or the positive side of it, a lot of people get affected by it deeply, and it sometimes hurt them in the long run. you know and then I think Sunday I've already started giving some tips on it as well, or some, reason why it happened, but just very few that we kind of jot down here, where we said, one of the reason why it happened is the desire. Come on, this thing is take it slow. Oh my god. Yeah, there you go. The desire to belong. And I think Sonny already shared a whole lot on this. You want to have that sense of belonging. Like I think we said that in our previous episodes, 2 or 3 episodes back, that we are all social beings. Every human, we are all social beings, and every one of us want to find ourselves one way or the other relating to people, no matter what. Even if you are introvert, one way or other, you will somehow interact with people. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just a nature. This is something that is natural. It's something that's is like an inborn tendency, is within us. We 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 want to be relatable. We want to interact with people. We want to be social, socially involved and socialize and things like that. And through those kind of, lifestyles or activities, that's where sometimes you become influenced by some of your things that you see in your surrounding and stuff like that. So, obviously, having that sense of belonging, that you want to be a part of certain society or certain group, certain organization, or certain lifestyle, or just something that you feel like, okay, I really want to be part of these people or part of this thing, that if I don't do it, I would not really feel that I am, who I am, and things like that. And you want that vibe, you want to, you want to, you know, be in a vibe too as well. So yeah, the desire to belong is one of the big factors that play into it. And I don't know if you guys want to add one or two to it as well.
Yeah, no, 100%. You just said it. The constant validation seeking, or constant urge of being accepted, is, we struggle with, especially youth. Like you mentioned, in their 20s, simply because, one, they either they weren't taught from the earlier, while they were still a child or growing up, or there are other factors why it happened. But the desire to belong is very much, especially in our digital age, is one of the force behind the desire to belong. You know, the moment, for example, let's say if
Yeah.
you post picture, I promise you, if you post picture right now and you have a lot of negative comments, you're gonna take it down. You know, like most people at least will feel the pressure to take it down, because there are so much negative comment. They feel that I'm not worthy enough. I mean, people are
Yeah.
posting negative comment. They are commenting that my dress is ugly, all kind of stuff.
Yeah, yeah. To be honest, that's true. 100. Sonny, what about you? You want to add to it?
Well, yeah, desire to belong is a great factor to peer pressure, and in as much you have that desire, social desire, is natural for every human. So it's not
Yeah.
like you're being forced to belong to a certain group of people, and that's why the Bible addresses that. If you read the book of Proverbs, um, chapter, I think 4, chapter 4, it says that don't be caught up in the ways of the fools or
Right.
evildoers. You know what I'm saying? And Proverbs chapter 13 verse 20 says, walk with the wise and become wise, for a companion of fools suffer harm. And what does that
Mm.
mean? It means that in as much you desire to belong, you have to make a wise choice, because God has given us the power to make choices. So you have to know which type of group of people you having that desire to belong to. Because whatever group you find yourself in, gradually you're gonna become that group of people, and it's gonna
Yeah.
happen with without you knowing it, because the way of life, the things they do, the places they go, the food they eat, the dances they dance, the way they speak to one another, addresses issue, desire to learn, and get education, you're gonna see that happening, and eventually you're gonna start behaving like those group of people. And so it's very, very important to make the choice of where you want to belong and who are those you want to feel that acceptance from. So
Yeah.
because
Absolutely.
definitely we have fed it gonna bring its own level of peer pressure. If you find yourself among people who just all about material things, that pressure is going to be there. And if you don't have a job and you want to look like Paul, who's in a group who always showing up, watches and expensive stuff, of course you want to do whatever it takes to give you money. And especially you don't even want to suffer. You not want to do a low class job to give you that money and go and spend it on one item. So you want to find a way to get fast money, you know, to get yourself that same stuff you had with Paul. And sometimes Paul will not be honest to say, hey, I did this, and I did this to get the money. Or sometimes Paul will be honest, and sometimes it's nothing legit. It's something might be relating to some level of crime or something. I'm not saying that everybody who flirt with good material or expensive stuff has to do crime. No, some people have an honest hustle. Some people have a great job that pay them good money. But if you find
Yeah.
yourself among those people, I mean, it also gonna help you to develop in a way. But also, like I said, you have to make a choice to find yourself or trying to be accepted and belonging to the right group of people that can help you excel in life.
Yeah, for sure. For sure, absolutely. And I think many of us face that, even while growing up, like especially for some of us that way back like high school days, um, you new to the school and you probably your first class or something, or you got a promotion to a different class or new class, and you know, you meet certain group of guys there, everybody chilling and stuff, get a
Right, right,
and get a like clique, recess, everybody hanging out and doing their thing, and you just there like looking like a soloist. You know what I mean? You got no one to talk to. You're a little boring, boring like as hell, bro. And
right,
you
right.
trying to figure things out, but then at the end of the day, you're like, you know what? I need to link up with these guys, girls. Come on, I'm about to be moving by myself and just be looking like a weirdo on campus and stuff like that. So, and then you start to get influenced by some of the things they do. Like you don't know, probably these guys they hang out and smoke or drink, and that led to a lot of people even doing some inappropriate things in school. Like drinking, smoking, getting
Right,
into
right.
things that they ain't supposed to do because, you know, obviously, man, you just don't want to be by yourself. Like, we are socially relatable. Like you wanna be part of something at least, even when I one or two friends just to work with and for people to see that, that you are hanging out with people. Sometimes people feel that need, that pressure to do that. And sometimes it works out, but it depends. But it then brings the question if a negative influence or negative peer pressure outweigh the positive peer pressure sometimes. Like if I don't know, but like you said, it depends too, on the individual themselves. You making your decision,
Right, right.
as to decide where you want to find yourself. But then it's kind of tricky too because what if you don't know what you're getting into? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, it is a great conversation anyway. But the next one here, also the fear of rejection, which also tie into belonging as well. You don't want to be rejected by people. You don't want to feel like you're kind of weird. You don't want to feel like you by yourself, like you alone, or you're lonely or whatever. And you just don't want to see yourself in a kind of situation and stuff like that. So I don't know. You guys want to add one or two, or we could just move on to the next one.
I
Go ahead,
think
please, Alfred.
yes. Yeah, it's so common. Obviously, everyone want to be accepted, no one want to be rejected. It feels as though that if you are not validated or approved in our cultural norms, and now you are seems to be um rejected, like especially we live in the cancel culture, especially like our social media. If we say stuff right now on our channel we're not supposed to say, we get probably get canceled, or maybe yeah, everything really, there's so much going on. It's like everyone head is so full of negative. If you decide to start something, the first thing that comes to your mind is, oh my gosh, there's so much negative, and the fear of rejection will be one of them. So
Yeah,
which is why we are going to be dealing with and giving tips, guys. At the end of every episode we do give tips, making sure that you follow and to overcome these fears.
absolutely, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, and the third point to that, you
Oh,
know,
let me share a
is
lot on the fear of rejection. I thought,
yeah. Go ahead, Sunday. Sorry about that.
yeah, yeah.
Let's hear
So,
from you.
yeah, rejection is something that is something that it's a feeling. It's a feeling. Sometimes it can be caused by somebody else's action towards you. You get what I'm
Mm,
saying? It's
okay,
and sometimes people dwell on that action, and it kind of shift that perspective. You know,
right.
it shift that perspective about themselves. Like you go
Mm,
somewhere and you apply for a job. Imagine you got a PhD or bachelor in certain career, and you goes there, you get rejected 4 or 5 times, and it weakens you. Like you'll not
yeah.
want to try again. You know what I'm saying? You be thinking like, oh, I'm not worth enough. Can you imagine for opportunity to get this job and I studied so hard? What is wrong with me? I'm not
Mm,
qualified, and it shifts your perspective about yourself. But one thing we need to put out there is it doesn't define your worth because it's part of
right.
the process of growth. You get
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
And all you need to
Absolutely.
do in this kind of situation is to challenge your negative self-talk. You know what I'm saying? If in your
Right.
head something is telling you, yeah, I told you you're not good enough. You don't know how to speak. You don't even know how to pronounce words. You're not a good English speaker. You don't even know how to write good. You don't know how to do this. You don't know how to compose yourself on camera, and you want to do a podcast. Can you imagine? People not going to watch your podcast.
Of
Nobody
course.
really gonna care about the
Absolutely.
things you say because you're not even wise enough. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
Apparently, you have had a situation where somebody said it to you, and it create that in your mind. But one thing we need to put out there: it doesn't define your worth.
Yeah.
And or in dealing with the fear of rejection, you need to get rid of that negative thoughts. Get rid of it. And one of the way you can get rid of that, find somebody who you can confide in. It could be a pastor, it could be a mentor, it could be a teacher, it could be an elder in the community.
Mm,
Start to and start to work on yourself. Find somebody you can confide in. Explain to them what you're dealing with. And they will give you some advices in dealing with that situation and to help you navigate, yourself around whatever's going on in your mind.
yeah, for sure. For sure. I mean, just like you said, it does not define you. And that's what I want everyone to go with today. It really doesn't matter what people say or how you feel about yourself. Just change your perspective, change your mindset towards yourself. And whatever people say does not define you. You are better than that. You are better than any negative thought, negative statement. So yeah, the next one we have here, the next point here is influences or influencers. So this one has to do with, let's say, for instance, um, you see someone, you admire what they do, and you become influenced by that. You know, it could be like a role model. Maybe it could be something of someone of high esteem, someone of high value. Like, let's say, for instance, um I go like, let's say for us that in ministry, right? You go in the church and you see that you're saying you're not a musician, but because you see this guy can do this thing, the guy can sing, or the guy can do certain thing, you become influenced by that thing. Now you try to pressure yourself in a way that you want to be like that particular person, and you going about it. I mean, sometimes it kind of challenge you, right? To do your best to become a better person, but then um probably you're doing it for competition, you know what I'm saying? I don't know if you guys really understand, but yeah,
Yeah, definitely.
exactly. So right, so that's the point. Like you try to be influenced by that person, and all that person become an influencer towards you. Whether it's negative or positively. So it's another kind of factor too that kind of tie into um you know why people experiences peer pressure. So let's hear from you guys. Let's hear from you, um, Alfred, and then we'll go to Sunday.
Yeah, like you just said, someone's action or how someone what someone is involved in that really get you to take actions, right? So
Right,
like all of those small actions that motivate your activity or that's kind of spark your your reactions to whatever they are doing. And then
right,
it can be both. It can be positive and negative. Firstly, influencers really have to do are people that possess that zubra, that spirit, that naturally but most of the time can be positive that that see things from a positive angle and they are actually doing things for good. They are folks for good. So through their activities of doing something good, it kind of inspire other people to follow them. So versus
exactly.
like influences wherein someone depend on maybe their glory or past glory to make other people to take action towards whatever they are doing.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Yeah, that's the point. Yeah, Sunday. I know you want to say one or two things.
Yeah, well, I mean, the point influences or influence a little take me off track. But I'll try my best. Yeah, I'll try my best on that. But I mean, if you find yourself, I mean, everybody is in a position of influence. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And to shock you, even when you're homeless, you're still in that position of influence.
Yeah, for sure.
You,
Yeah,
you don't know
yeah.
how many people who get easily
Right.
influenced by homeless men who don't have no bills to pay, and they doing all the work, paying
I
bills,
know,
and they still broke.
right?
Yeah,
I actually,
actually.
not to cut you off though. I actually heard someone say that before. Like, these guys ain't got nothing to worry about. Like, come on,
Yeah,
they
you
got.
gotta scrap. You gotta wear a place to sleep. Nobody asking them for money. You know what I'm saying? People see them give them
Yeah,
free money.
it's
Yeah,
yeah,
in as much as bad, I'm just trying to say, I'm simply saying, as much as bad a situation might look like, you
yeah,
an influencer, you are a father, and you'll be shocked to know that your wife, your kid, they all looking at you based on the decision that you make daily. It
right,
influences their lives. While we have other people who are at the place of their career, just in that position alone, influences what other people, whatever they do, it influences other people. For example, Cristiano Ronaldo, he's a soccer player. We who have no Cristiano Ronaldo if you have not played soccer. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying?
for
But
sure.
the fact that he's
Mhm.
in that position because he does this very well, uh, every other thing he does influences people behavior. The
Yeah,
celebration, so easy herb
yeah, everything,
and
dress code and all that stuff.
and the clothes that he wear, people want to dress
Yeah,
like him. You find other people that want to cut their hair like Cristiano Ronaldo, you know. and people want to walk like him, and because he live, that's his normal way of life, but because he finds himself in that place of influence, he have the fame, and people take his lifestyle, and there are other people, in other career like musicians, and that's why it's very important, um who you follow. And some people, because they love the things you do, unintentionally influenced by, okay, for example, you get this guy, he's a great rapper and stuff like that, and because his music is so inspiring, and every other thing he does in his life, you'll find young stuff that imitating it. I don't know,
Absolutely.
that's why you're trying to drive out with that point. But they are easily influenced by whatever this person does, because of that person being in a position of fame. So whatever they does influence the people that admires, you know, or whatever thing they are doing. And that's one thing. You'll find people, they don't that people that us, we don't really care like how much you achieve, whatever career you're doing. I've never seen in my life where I was say, oh, I'm so crazy about this person, the way to do this, the way to do that. I can't wait. I want to be like them, and stuff like that. One thing, personally, I focus on what God want me to be. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Every day of my life is a challenge. And as much as I admire how Alfred speaks, I also want to develop how I speak so I can be me. You know what I'm saying? But the point
Absolutely.
I'm trying to make is there are a lot of people who are socially influenced by people in a social position, of fame. So whatever these people does, they are influenced by them, and that's why nowadays we have the social media, podcast, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram. There are people who goes there every day and just talk or dance and stuff like that, and these people are considered influencer. You get what I'm saying? These people, they are titled influencer, and you'd be surprised that they have award
Yeah.
ceremony for
Yeah.
those people,
Hmm.
and whatever dance these people does on their social platform, there are a lot of other people who want to be like them, practicing these dances and posting them on their personal social media, platform and stuff like that. But everybody in whatever position you find yourself, you are influencer. But it also you as an individual, how you allow, like from the beginning we said, who you follow, who you imitate is very, very, very important, you know,
Yeah.
and how you imitate what you want to grab from a person. A person can have a very bad personal character, but they are at the best place of their career and making a lot of money, and they have a great fame. You can imitate how that person being successful, and that can influence you and motivate you to do more and better in life. Or you can just influence how much anger and authority they have against her, they are, and stuff like that, which can also affect your life. So it's about the mindset.
Yeah, the mindset. Yeah, yeah. So yeah, for sure. Know who you follow. Also observe the lifestyle of those influencers. Um, that you have, or that you have eyes on, because like you said, and to be honest, like looking at our setting nowadays, especially where social media have become like the all of the day. A lot of young people, and that's the reason why you know there are a lot of educational program out there now that are teaching parents you know um how to limit some of the kids activities, like like going on social media, having phone, using screen time and all of these things. I mean, yeah, we have heard all of these things. And the reason is that because the mind is very, very, especially when you're a kid, your mind is so fast in grabbing things. you know like your IQ level, your sensitivity level is very, very high. So anything that you grab at a certain stage, like between 0 to like 12 or 13, it kind of stick with you for long. It stick with you for long. So if you have a kid or like child in your home and you have them become like a social media niche where they just want to be on there 24/7, listening to all these TikToking things. I mean, nobody's not saying, yeah, to do TikToks is wrong, but like most especially like for adolescents, like little kids, you know what I mean, babies and stuff. You gotta really watch how they kind of you know adapt themselves to these things, because trust me, you don't want them to learn the negative thing out there. At the end of the day, it gonna give a negative feedback to them, because even though there are a lot of good things, positive things out there that people can learn from, but on a scale, the bad things outweigh the good things, bro. There are a lot of things out there that you would just don't want your kid to learn, or even you yourself to even learn or see or do or know about. And social media has become so versatile to the extent that it's just everywhere, man. Like, everything nowadays is just being digitized, everything. And it's just scary and crazy at a point where, if you're not careful, you would just be influenced by something that you just don't, you know, you never had a mind for, or you never thought that it could kind of influence you. So, like you said, we need to change our perspective. We need to be careful who we follow out there. No one is not saying that you shouldn't be online, you shouldn't be on the social media, you shouldn't live a social media life. I mean, it's everyone's choice to make. But you as a person, you need to be careful, who you are influenced by, you know, and also careful who also you consider as a model too, a role model, because if you follow the wrong person and start to learn bad things or the wrong thing from that person, then you become a threat to society. People try to look at you as a threat to society. So we need to be careful with all of these things as well.
Yeah, to just add one to that, and that's something like it is a great point. And I want to say it's very possible to love a person in a position of influence and not be influenced by the things they do. And I can say, as
Definitely.
personally, this guy from Nigeria, right? Davido. I love Davido music. I love Davido music. You know what I'm saying? And
Right.
he got a whole voice. He might not be as a great singer and stuff like that, but I just love his style and his vibe of music. But
Right.
since I don't want to be that kind of musician or stuff like that, that's not more about nothing about Davido is influencing me. You know what I'm saying? About his lifestyle and the things he do, the way he does it, the way he dress. No, I just
Right.
love him as a star and the things that he do. But nothing about him
Absolutely.
influences me. You get what I'm saying? But there are people who go to the extreme and want to dress like that
Yeah.
star and talk like them, act like them. Of course, you know you're not a singer. You know what I'm saying? And you're not even looking to that path, or you don't have that. You don't have that gift. It's not even a career path for you. But you're trying to,
Mhm.
because you love this person so much. Your whole life is imitating them. That's being foolish. You know what I'm saying? That's a whole another level. And there are a lot of people who
Right.
suffering from a pressure, from those kind of stuff. You would not believe that. There are a lot of young
Mm.
people that would even fight you, curse at you, willing to go through whatever it takes just because they love somebody and you say something bad about them as well. So the influence who you allow influence you, or who is influencing you, should be one of the major questions that we're living out there today. Who is influencing you? Who is that person
Yeah.
that you think is so great, is a great star, and they're influencing your daily life? You know what I'm saying? And why are you learning from them?
Yeah.
So if everything you're learning
Yeah.
from them is just putting you in a place of frustration and depression and stuff like that, you need to reevaluate.
Yeah. For
Yeah.
sure. For sure. Mm. Go ahead,
I mean,
Alfred.
you just touched a set point. To be honest, allowing who to influence you is one of a great tip to consider, especially to add on to that, like influencing influencer, is that really, and we mentioned it yesterday. I keep saying people are still battling with self identity. They really don't know who they are yet. So they're trying to be other people. They're trying to wear other people. Like for example, you wear let's say whatever Adidas, you wear the other people, you wear all of this flashy stuff because you're trying to beat at these people. And those are people, those are actual people, even though they are brands, but they are actual people. They are becoming themselves. In other words, you don't know what you are, so you trying to become other people, which especially we can see, especially everywhere, even most closely in the religious setting, the churches, they trying to also um, take the style of the club, then the other places, people dancing, and the same dance they dance in the club now. People do that in also in churches now. Um,
Hmm.
and because they're not really
Yeah.
clear on their assignment and the mandate, so they try to do all of this stuff because they feel that though if they don't do these things, member is going to go away from the church, or their church, or they just say the right thing. They're in other words afraid to lose members. So, and people think the devil too is to get you to do the bad thing. See, the devil too is not to get you to. The devil knows very well that you are smart. He's not going. He too great. Satan's greatest tool is not to get you to do the bad thing. It's to get you to do the good thing that is not the right thing.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you know, we are taking a bit of time on this point.
Let me
Which
just
is
chip in. Let
great
me just chip
because
in for 1 minute. Let
sure,
me
sure.
chip
Go
in
ahead.
one
Go
minute.
ahead. Go ahead. Let's hear from you.
There are people that are saying, right, that they don't smoke, but these same people that you never find them smoking at all. But these same people will find themselves among group of friends, and they say they're Zoom. Oh, they want to go out tonight. It's a weekend. It's Friday night. Bam!
Right.
Everybody dress up, and they just thought about going out. But then when they find themselves in a club with their friends and everybody's smoking, doing C-shot and stuff like that, and some friend will come up to you, "You're not smoking?" I'm like, "Come on, man!"
Yeah.
Trying to
Right.
get you to do it. And
Right.
the fact that is very an intense situation. That alone is some
Yeah.
of everything we're talking about here. How you
Yeah.
have to
Absolutely.
deal with the pressure of friends. Hey, do it, do it. We are doing it. It's okay. Feel like the way we're feeling right now. That peer pressure is
Yeah.
on you, like trying to change your mind, even though that's something that you probably promised yourself that you're never going to do. And now the second step that's going to be happening to your brain is, oh, I don't want it to think that I'm some type of,
Yeah.
in
I'm a
Liberia we
weird
say
person.
blah,
Yeah.
meaning
Yeah. I'm
that
black.
you we call you Saka. Saka meaning that, oh, you part you among us, but you don't understand us. You're not
Yeah.
part of us. You are not like us. So because you don't
Correct.
want to
Yeah.
deal with that rejection at that point in time, you have to get a strong mind to say no. That's very important to peer pressure. Having the ability to say no. And that's what a lot of people struggle with. A lot of us don't know how to say no when it's time to say no. We
Yeah.
get so clouded that what are they going to think about me after
Mm.
today? In fact, they might not even want to invite me again. Even though I'm having fun, we are dancing. I love the music, but I don't want to smoke. I promised myself. I promised my late mom or my late dad. This is something I'm never gonna do. Or I saw this, you know, take away the life of one of my family members. So I promised myself. But now you find yourself in that position, and your friends they're all doing it, and you want to feel part of them. In fact, they're even asking you, trying to convince you to do it. And that's one of the hard places. That's if you can overcome, because that is a setting of an extreme peer pressure. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And if you can overcome that situation and still feel good about yourself, then you have a great way of dealing with peer pressure. And that's one thing that I said earlier, that the Bible says that we shouldn't find ourselves in the midst of these people. So why is saying that to not even have to deal with that at all, don't even go for that party.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
Don't
Yeah.
even go. You know what I'm saying? Because at the end of the day, you don't know. Maybe your mind might change. Maybe you might take some little zip,
Yeah,
and
right.
you're under
You
that
let me taste
influence,
it.
and you do what you never want to do. And at the end of the day, you
Yeah.
realize that you don't want to stop. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. And those type of habits stick though, to be honest. Those type of habits stick.
Yeah, it's an
Like
addiction.
those
It
judgmental
eventually become
habit,
an
yeah.
addiction.
Yeah, where you like, you know what, just for the sake of the time, oh yeah, I don't want to look weird. I don't want to look like, I'm a clown. Let me taste it. Let me just take one or two bottles. Let
Right,
me drink the first bottle. You drink the first bottle, the second bottle. Like now, you can't start drinking the bottles now, bro. Like 24/7, you popping bottles. You know what I mean?
right, right.
Like you like,
Right.
oh, let me taste it. Let me just smoke small this shisha and stuff, and this will just be my trial, and then, bro, you become an expert in the next 2 3 weeks. You know what I'm saying? So those
Absolutely.
type of habits, to be honest. But yeah, um, so for our next segment here, we're gonna be looking at the impact of peer pressure. I mean, we have talked a lot of good and bad, side of peer pressure, or how people are being influenced by it, and how it happened, and what it is. But now let's look at some of the impact of it. And one of the impact we have here that we're going to be looking at, I think we kind of chip on it a little bit to our conversation, is damaging one's self-esteem. So let's hear from you, Alfred, and then Sunday, and then I'll go last on this one.
Yeah, like I said earlier on, yes, it does damage. You know, either way, I'm guessing that damaging one's self-esteem has to do with the negative aspect of it, right?
Right.
Um, yes, it would damage your self-esteem because one, you don't know who you are, and then after you succumb to those pressure, like our brother mentioned from the club, and then after you are do all of this stuff, yeah, you loses your confidence, right? You are
Yeah.
the person few years ago you used to say no. Then let's say 2 years down the line, you hang out with another group, and you constantly hearing your friends telling you say, you are a clown, or you behave like, how's it called? You behave like you're not a social butterfly. Even if you
Yeah.
don't do what they are asking you to do, they feel like you are trying to feel like you are special. And this constant
Mm,
thing, if you constantly hearing people start telling you all of these things, and then you feel like saying, you say to yourself, oh, if let's say if 5 or 10 people have to tell me the same thing, that means it's pretty much true about it's pretty much true. So it kind of break down your confidence
yeah.
of saying no, and and then all of these traditional values that you hold and go off the window because you succumb to whatever pressure they are putting you on at that time.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. For sure. Let's hear from you, Sunday.
Yeah, thank you, Joseph. Well, peer pressure, damaging one's self-esteem is a negative impact
Mm-hmm.
of peer pressure. Is a negative impact of peer pressure. And one thing we need to remember, when your self-esteem is damaged, you feel a sense of unworthiness,
Yeah.
that you don't worth anything. And and that's why sometimes you see there are other people who end up in bad relationships, drop out of school, doesn't have a courage to get a good job. And damaging self-esteem also leads to lack of confidence. You don't have
Mm,
confidence in yourself, and um feeling of inadequacy, like you don't feel like you have that quality.
Yeah.
You're not man enough,
Mm-hmm.
or you're not that woman enough to achieve this or do that or get that job or that promotion, buy your own house, get the car you want.
Right.
It can lead to a lot of things. You know how much this might look a little big, but self esteem is
Yeah.
very, very important.
Yeah.
And that's why some people end up, well, this is just me. This is who I am.
Mm-hmm.
You get what I'm saying? And because you have a lot of peer pressure, the people around you to make you think and believed, because you crowded yourself with the wrong people. Because when we say peer pressure, we're talking about the people
Yeah. Your surroundings.
you surround yourself
Peers.
with and building
Yeah.
relationship with or trying to build relationship with. That's
Yeah.
what we're talking about here. And how do you allow these people to damage your self-esteem? I had one workmate. I just wrote a short story, and we were working together at a school in New York City as assistant teacher. And so one day we were on the lunchtime, and she started to show me picture of her in school when she was in high school. And this girl was part of all the major dancing group and things she used to do, and you could see laugh in her. Like this is somebody who had um a brighter future, somebody who had amazing skills and stuff like that. And then knowing for the few time working with her, knowing the type of person she is, and the things that I've heard about her. Because bro, there are people who come out of John tell you avoid this person. You know,
Yeah.
just
For sure. Yep. A
you
lot
know what
of
I'm
time.
saying? And for me, I'm not gonna just put judgment on somebody because you telling me they didn't do
Right.
nothing wrong to
Right.
me. And I don't want to build relationship, certain type of relationship with them. At the same time, I'll give them that grace and not see them as an enemy or yeah, until I can see sign of that and say, okay, okay, this is okay, blah, blah. So I'll just sit and talk and nothing more than that. And I see that like she gave up on herself. And
Wow.
I asked her
Mm.
one important question, and it didn't even seem like it meant anything to her. I look at the picture, and after I went through her gallery and stuff, and I asked her, I say, where did you left yourself?
Mm.
I said, I said, from what you just showed me, I'm seeing so much life. This is not what I'm looking at. I said, there's something happened to you.
Right. Mm.
This is not you. And it kind of like she just brushed up that conversation.
Yeah.
And what just dropped in my mind was like, this is somebody that is dealing with a high level of self-esteem.
Yeah.
Something happening along the way. The
Yeah.
girl, something or some way somehow something damaged her mind about herself. So she's a person who had the opportunity to she's not even to even go back to school because that's one thing um low self-esteem does to you.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It affects your academic skills and academic excellence, academic performance. It affect that. You can't think properly, you cannot remember stuff because now you at that place of unworthiness.
Yeah.
You don't feel worthy. You don't feel that you have quality anymore. And you lack your confidence to even speak, to express yourself, to do the things that will make people value you. You will avoid yourself from all these things because of what peer pressure has done to your self-esteem. So this is something
Yeah.
that we have to be very careful. That's why we are saying here, being careful with the people you begin to trust, the people you want to consider your friends, and the people you want to feel accepted by. That's something we really need to take into deep consideration before moving forward.
Yeah. Honestly, that's I think you kind of cracked the nail right on the head. That's for sure. Losing your self-esteem is dangerous. And also, you know, having that feeling of wanting to fit into something and not ready, fitting into it can make you feel like, you don't have you are not worthy. You feel unaccepted and things like that. And like you all said, the effect of that can cause a lot of issue, like having that depressive moment, as anxiety and all of these things, like wanting to harm yourself. These things can make a lot of people can make a lot of people want to do crazy stuff to themselves. Yeah, it can make people want to do a lot of things to themselves because it's like, okay, I feel like I want to do this. I feel like I want to fit in this society. I want to fit in this setting, but then I'm not. Like what is wrong with me? Like am I the problem? And then you start to question yourself, and a lot of stuff start to come to your mind, and then you start to feel depressed. You start to have some mental health issues and a whole lot of negative effects. So yeah, it is a bad impact. And that can be caused by peer pressure. And lastly for this segment here is compromising your values. I think for this one, you know, people tend to compromise a lot of things in their life when they want, like, when they want to fit into something. Like I first said, if you really don't know your worth or know your identity, I think it kind of causes you to do a lot of things that you ain't supposed to do. you know. So knowing your value, knowing what you are worth, knowing what you want to be at or what you want to do, like we even shared previously, being able to know the difference or being able to judge between what is good and what is not good is something that is a skill set that people need to learn. A lot of people don't know it. A lot of people don't have it. And trust me, even saying no, all of these things, these are skill sets you need to learn because as we are all socially relatable or have that social tendency within us, we also have that weaknesses embedded. And we're not machine, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like no matter what, sometimes these things are not things that can happen easily. To be honest, they are not things that you would just say, "Oh, okay, it's something easy to do." No, it's not easy to do. It takes time. Indeed, it takes a lot of time. But knowing your value, knowing what you are worth, knowing your value, and not being able to compromise it is a skill that people need to learn. And trust me, no matter what pressure you have being faced out there, or you are experiencing in your school, at your jobs, or whatever, know who you are worth. Know your values, know your identity. Know what you want to do for yourself, know where you want to be, know how you want to go about doing, like Sonny said. I mean, we all one way or the other have been, have people that we are influenced by. But you got to look at the positive side of it, and the negative side. Like you said, you love Davido, you listen to his music and his, even though you see his lifestyle and things that he do, but you are not carried away by that. Because you know your value, you know what you want for yourself, who you want to become of yourself, and things like that. So these are things that we young people need to know, especially us, the young people, this new young generation nowadays, where we are quickly carried away, man. To be honest, and I mean, we don't. I don't like want to really go into the issue of social media aspect because it's gonna make people to feel like, oh, we are trying to, like, tell people that social media is bad. Bro, social media is not bad. It has its own good and bad, but the negative side of social media influences on the young generation is at the higher mind. You know, it's at another level at this point. It's just at another level now, and people need to reassess. People need to take a step back a little bit and try to really understand, the effect of this thing and the damage it's causing. You know, and yeah, I mean many others, but I'm just gonna give you guys a chance to, like, throw some light on this. So let's start from you, Sunday, and then Alfred gonna put the chat on this one.
Well, yeah, I mean, compromising your value is is dangerous. It's not dangerous to the people that you're compromising it for, or the people you compromising your value to, but it's dangerous for you. And one thing to understand here is, to compromise a value, it means that you are aware of your value.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because something that we might take as valuable for our lives is a day to day activity for somebody else. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
you see people making the same mistake and doing it. Oh, why you keep doing it? Because it's not a value for them. In fact, it's not even a
Mm.
mistake for them. You know what I'm saying? So one thing that every man, every person needs to do is know, like you said, Jusu, know your worth, know your value. If that's something that you don't know, think about, sit down, go in your room, light yourself up. If you're a Christian, like I would encourage anyone here who listening to us, be a Christian and go to the Bible, read about values, do research and stuff, and list the values. I will not do this for this reason. I will not do this. I'm not going to do this. I will not compromise this.
Right.
I will not. So if you are aware of your value, it's something that you're going to stick to. You get what I'm saying? Because you're promising
Right.
yourself at this point.
Yep.
So to compromise, meaning that the promise that you made to yourself, you're breaking it down. You get what I mean?
Right.
You're breaking down to the
Absolutely.
value of your own life. So if you have those value in mind, you want to live by it. You want to uphold that value. And you want to do everything possible, humanly possible, to protect that value because you know that your life depends on it. You know that your
Yeah.
destiny depends on it. You know that your future depends on it. You get what I'm saying? And that's your code. But
Yep.
it's something that nowadays you'll be shocked to see that other people who knows that value. There are people who knows that value, but will compromise it because of we get back
Yep.
right to the same stuff. Peer pressure. The inability to say no.
No.
Being
Yeah.
convinced and influenced by the wrong group of people or the wrong person. Oh, because this person
Mm.
did this, I am going to do it too to prove that I'm capable enough to do it. And probably
Yeah.
that person broke it because they and you don't share the same value. So the things they're doing over there for them is not a value. But for you who know your value, you're breaking it down because you want to be like them, you want to act like them.
Yeah. Right.
Or because you
Boosting your
surrounded
identity
yourself
right
with the
there.
wrong group of people. Like I was talking earlier about smoking. That's something that's very, oh, I'm a Christian and I've learned that, it's not okay to smoke and smoking is dangerous to my health, even not being a Christian. But smoking is dangerous
Right.
to my health, and this is something for health wise. I don't want to. I'm not going to do this. And you promising yourself, and you make that a value. No to cigarette, no to opium, no to weed. You know what I'm saying? So you must be aware
Absolutely.
of your value and make that promise to yourself. And
Yeah.
compromising your value is dangerous to you. It's dangerous to your destiny. It's dangerous because your value is what you will become. And that's the step to you, who you really going to be or who you are. You know what I'm saying? And
Yep.
I
Absolutely.
think that's something that we, especially as young people, need to take deeply into consideration. And now with the influence of social media, like you said, social media is not a bad thing. It is a place to create awareness like we are doing right now. It's a place to um to do marketing, and make money and learn. and do a whole lot of good things, but there are a lot of people being influenced
Yep.
and by the wrong thing through social media. And I think that every man upholding that value is very essential to
Yeah.
uh, uh, um to who they really are, and that's something that don't need to be compromised.
Hmm.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let's hear from you, Alfred. I think this is going great.
Yeah,
Solid points. Yeah.
I think I can, resonate with every point you stress, especially one that you said that is very keen was that compromising your value means that you are aware that your value exists. You are
Yeah.
aware of that is there, but it's a choice, it's an intentional choice you made to
Mm-hmm.
compromise it. Either and one thing about compromising your value is that no one forces you to do it. You just intentionally do it. I would say most of the time, your value, you should wear your value, like you mentioned, your value is you, your value is something that you wear. You should wear your value light enough that other people know it is there. See,
It is.
I would say if even at your job place, if if your coworker approaches you to steal something, that's a even though you haven't stolen that thing, but that means that you are already a failure. The fact that they thought in their mind that you're going to do it, that means that they know they are already sure that you're going to do it, so they approach you in the first place. Um, in other words, your value will not lie enough that they know you're not going to do it. See, to everyone watching us, I would like to emphasize that you should wear your value lie enough so that your friends, your coworker, even though they might have bad thing in their mind for you both to do, and one of them would say, don't even bother that guy. I know that guy. He will never going to fall for it.
Yeah,
So
right.
so even when they approaches you, when they think about smoking, and they're trying to approach you about it in their deep mind, they know very well you they're going to try though, but they know very well you're not going to fall for it. They'll be like, I told you, he's not going to fall for it. So,
Yep.
especially in a religious setting, I would say to every religious person, especially Christianity, that and in Leviticus 10:10, the scripture says that you should set a difference between what is clean or clean, godly or not godly. So, if you know your value is low enough, you already know you are aware is there, and then you already know the differences between it. Um, so nothing will easily slay you away from that value that you uphold or you have chosen to uphold for a very long time. So,
Right.
you know, if I mean again, uh, in order to compromise your value is a conscious decision that you chose to make. And
Yeah.
then you decide to do
Yeah.
it.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. It's a conscious decision. That it's a choice, that you will have to make as an individual. And like you guys said, be aware of your value, know your value, and be able to set standard for yourself. You know, is key. Be able to set some standard, man. Not everything you can fall for, bro. Or not everything you're supposed to fall for. Like, listen, peer pressure is hard to deal with. To be honest, two things that I have experienced, right, in my growing up as a young person, that I think that has affected, or it is affecting our younger generation, and it's still affecting our younger generation, and many other things. You see peer pressure and imposter syndrome, bro.
Hmm. Yeah.
Those things are things. Imposter syndrome for it is worse. We will have a show on that. We'll have an episode on that where we're gonna discuss imposter syndrome in depth and how to overcome it and how to the effect and all of these things. But these things affect young people, and it is we might make it seem like it's easy to overcome, or maybe it's something that you can just spot on and it's not, to be honest. It is a gradual process. Something it's some First, there are a lot of things you need to identify about yourself, a lot of standard you need to set for yourself, and also be cognitive of your environment, like know your surrounding, understand your surrounding, know who you are dealing with, like everyone we are sharing, know the kind of people you're following. trust me, you can be around. You know that you're not someone that want to smoke or drink or love to smoke or drink, but you want to follow people that can smoke and drink. Like, trust me, one way or other, they might influence you. Like, even the Bible says, do not what you can say we what the with unbelievers. It's not by saying that unbelievers are people that but that characteristics, that attribute things they do, you don't want to be, you don't want it to be rubbed on you and things like that, or be influenced by those things. So we just need to be careful. We need to be smart enough to be able to identify some of these things. And we're gonna shift gear a little bit to some of the solutions. Um, and again, these are just practical tips that we're gonna provide. We are not expert. Though we are expert in our own, experiences and things that we have experienced in our lifetime, and we're gonna share them as well. But these are all researchable tips and stuff, and many others out there that you can, follow, read about yourself, and learn them. But for the sake of time, we're gonna identify very few of them here on this show, and we're gonna discuss them. And again, feel free, to explore beyond. So, uh, the strategies to overcoming peer pressure. One practical tip that we have here is the practice of saying no. And this one, I think we have been talking about it from the very beginning. So I believe we're not going to spend too much time on this, but just to, re-emphasize what we say, or what we said earlier. So this time around, let's kick it off with you, Alfred, and then Sunday, and I think we'll move on to the next.
Yeah, I think it's very important. The reason why we keep stressing and making emphasis of these things, and it's like always in the Bible, Jesus will usually say very, very, he will always repeat himself twice. It's like you keep saying these things because it's important. Um,
Yeah,
we don't know how to say no. We don't know when to say no. So, especially we were raised from a culture, a country, especially where we were not taught how to say no. So even the person is bigger than you or the person is older than you, you cannot look in their face and say no. It is really
yeah,
time that we shift that from that mindset that just because someone is older than you, you cannot look in that face and that's just practice saying it. If you don't know how to do it, go into the mirror and look at a mirror and say no. So you just keep because it's as you learn it. Again, we're not saying it to in other words to be me, but
yeah, right.
it protects your inner peace. If you
Yeah,
if you say no at the appropriate time, if you practice saying no, someday you will say no at the appropriate time, and some things that you have been saying yes to for a long period of time, you will start saying no, and don't feel guilty about it. It's hard to say no because
yeah,
once you say no and then you move away, your one way suddenly start judging your mind. You start feeling that something start that guilt, that guilt started start building from within you and here and there. Um, I am a fan of giving some cash to the homeless and stuff like that. If I do have cash, and I'll go if I'm driving and I see in the street, I feel that sorry and I give it to them. But there was this day, I mean, my girlfriend was driving and she was like, "Oh, I feel so hard. Let's get this." I had like my last $20 in my hand, and she said, "Let's get this $20 in here." I looked at her face and I said, "No." So it was like you gotta know when to say no, and at the appropriate time you will find yourself
yeah,
adjusting to say no, and when I feel guilty about it, I went and she was feeling sad. I feel so bad, and I went and without even feeling no sad or bad. So yeah.
yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. Practicing to say no is a great tool, a great skill to have. Let's hear from you, Sonny, what you have to say about this one as well.
I mean, direct refusal is in inappropriate minor is a good way to protect yourself from peer pressure. Um,
Yeah,
because especially when you are asked to do something that takes us back to values.
Yeah.
something that go against your value, you
Right.
have to directly refuse. And it is also appropriate if you have to explain why you say no, and not trying to be harsh. You can be soft and say no. And that's why for
Yeah.
me, I
No, I'm
always
good.
have problem. I'm
Mhm.
not perfect, but I
Yeah.
always have problem with somebody. You speak to them about something. Oh, let's do this together. Oh yeah, they agree. They agree.
Right.
And when time comes, they give me excuses. That that throw me
Yeah.
off.
Yeah. You trust.
We know
Need
circumstances
to trust.
happen. You know what I'm saying? Maybe we
Right.
agree if something happened. You know, but somebody call you and tell you say, "Oh man, I I can make it maybe 2 hours to the time." Then they tell you it's an emergency. Emergency is right now. You get what I'm saying? If you
Right.
Right.
calling me, if you cancel on me for emergency, it means it's happening right now. You cancel on me on emergency and something that happened in the next 4 hours. That's not an emergency. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? um, but it shows your value when you say no to a person. Sometimes
Yeah.
saying no is uncomfortable.
It is.
It's
Absolutely.
very
Honestly.
uncomfortable.
It is.
You know, that's why sometimes people take all the tests around and say, "Oh, um, if this person's sick and you have this amount of money, and the doctor say this is the money you have to save the person's life, what will you do?" And that money is all yeah, maybe you so invest that money to change your whole life. Bro, if I have to say no to protect my body and the rest of my life, I would say no.
Yeah.
If that person is supposed to live, even if I don't give that money, that person will
Yeah.
live.
Right. That's the problem. Like people don't think critically
If
on
that
these
person is
things.
supposed to live, God will soften my heart and I also give that money. I will feel that inner peace to give that money.
Yeah. Right.
Because at the end of the day, it's all to the glory of God. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? But I'm not trying to say that being selfish should be on the mission. But if you go around, you ask most wealthy people, people who has money nowadays, like I think was it this guy 50 Cent? It's either 50 Cent or what the guy named Jay-Z. One of them was doing an interview and they was very open about how they started and how did it become multi-millionaire. These guys are
Yeah.
multi-millionaires. I think some of them are even billionaires by now. And one of them said, I said, no. What? He said, yeah. How can simple no make you this rich? Is that because people just want
Mm.
you to have from you? They want it to get from you.
Yeah.
When they see a little thing with you, they want ask, keep asking, keep asking, keep asking.
Yeah.
And as you keep giving, keep giving, keep giving, keep giving,
You're
it's
losing.
not being replaced.
Yeah. You're losing.
You know what I'm saying? So a simple no can help you. And that's why one of my apostle in New York City, she always used to say the power. She wrote a book called The Power of No.
Mm.
The Power of
That's
No.
good.
You know what I'm saying? No is so powerful that
Yeah.
even the person who you say no to, if they don't understand you now, they will understand you later.
Yeah.
And they will not have no problem with you. You know what I'm saying? Say no to protect your
Yeah.
values. You know what I'm saying? I'm not saying be selfish. You're not doing nothing. I call you, man, Juzu. Can I get a help from you? Oh, man, I learned to say no. I'm not calling you. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right, right, right.
You know,
You
say
set
no.
yourself up a failure.
Yeah, I
Right.
got it's to protect your value. It's not to be selfish. You know, protect your value. If you have your money
Yeah.
is valuable to you. If you need that money, you have a goal to buy your house next year, and you're working to fix your credit. You need to know that you have to say no to accomplish that, bro.
Yeah.
People are gonna call you, oh my child slipper, oh my how they call it. We know we are from Africa and got family over there.
Mm.
Bro, it's the first time when somebody tries to tear their school uniform. They will call you all the way to America. My school
Yeah.
uniform tear. Oh. Bro, I need to sell money for America for you to fix tear trouser. Are you kidding me? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
So
it's
saying no
crazy.
is powerful. It helps you to achieve. And saying no to go to that place all your friends are going, even though it's someone, it feels like it, but I have to say no.
Yeah,
I have to say no. Say no, even though everybody drinking, getting John flip, dancing crazy. But I'm saying no. I'm not putting liquor in my mouth. Not
yeah,
today. Because I set a value and goal this year that I'm not going to do this. And I
yeah,
must
Right.
achieve that. So no is a very powerful instrument. I will call that instrument, or you can call it
yeah,
element in
yeah,
achieving your purpose and also overcoming peer pressure. That's how I want us to take it. A
yeah,
very powerful element in achieving your purpose and overcoming peer pressure.
yeah. Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, you guys have said it all. It is a great element. It is a great to you know, it is something that people struggle with. Every one of us, me, bro, I one person I struggle with it. I ain't gonna lie. It's something that a lot of us struggle with, and like you said, it takes practice. It takes practice. Just continuous. Most especially once it's something that compromise your value, like you said, you know, something that's gonna put you in a uncomfortable spot or uncomfortable position. Trust me, in a way, just say no. I mean, you don't have to be blunt or rough with it. Oh, no, 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 like no, I'm good. I think I'm okay. No, I'm fine. It like you said, the person might feel like, oh, okay, why? Like, why you saying this or why you rejecting me or why you saying no to me? But at the end of the day, they would definitely understand the reason why you said no 3, 4, 5 years ago when they look at your lifestyle, in front. Because some people they just want you to be like them. They want you to they want to put you in the same position that they are. But probably the man knows that he said that he can drink. He know he's a drunkard, bro. He have defeated himself in his mind already that he can drink, and then you becoming a friend with him, he want to put you in the same, in the same position too. So every time he will be tempting you with liquor, like, yo, man, the guy just geeked somewhere. Let's show up for a like, oh, the guy that's part of this club. What's up? You coming over? And, like a whole lot of things just to get you there. But once you know your value, you know who you are, you know what you want for yourself. You will always try to avoid those things, and the best way to avoid it is by saying no. Like, and that's it. I mean, and that was a great one for you guys to be honest. I really appreciate all of those comments you guys gave. And just because of time, we're gonna go through one more, and then we're gonna wrap it up and call it a day. So for this one, we will say let's just discuss this last tip here. Lean on trusted friends, adults, and mentors. Um, let's hear from you Sunday, and then Alfred, and I'll add 1 or 2 cents, and then we can wrap it up. But it was a great session, guys. Really appreciate that. So, um, one practical tip we have here: leaning on a trusted friend, adults, and mentors.
Yeah, that is a great way of overcoming peer pressure, I would say, because I've had experience, growing up in the hood in Liberia.
Mm,
Um, the point in time, all your friends in school and being introduced to smoking and stuff like that. How can you turn around your life in that kind of situation where in that all the people you associate with or you have around you are all turning to the ghetto,
mm,
and you're growing up without father, you know what I'm saying? And
right.
growing up, being raised by a single mother who had to go and hustle every day and then come home, you know, when it's late. So meaning that from you had to run your own day-to-day activity, I'm saying you're not being supervised by your guardians or your parent because they had to go out there to provide food and shelter for you and your siblings. I mean, it was a tough situation, but
Right.
We had to turn on. We never had money to pay mentors at the time, and we were from the good family to transport ourselves to go to the place where rich kid could gather and learn from other people. So the only thing we had was school and church.
Hmm.
So we learn as much. Every teacher you see, teacher don't even want to be a mentor. They want to go and do that subject teach you, and they go
Right.
into their own trouble. In fact, teachers are not even making enough money to mentor. If you're a female, you're trying to get mentored by teacher in no kind of situation, you should be careful because they mentor your stomach. You know what I'm saying? So it was it, it was a tough situation, and nobody mentorship. It was like pretty much a tough thing to find around, but you could easily find it in the church. And growing up playing the instrument, it was an opportunity for me. I used to admire a guy who was in the church, and he was the one setting up the instruments. And I said, I want to do the things they are doing. And I pushed my way through and I started learning. And it didn't take too long. The guy signed up to go to the academy and join the national police. So right after he left, I had feeling like, yeah, which drew
Right.
me closer to the pastor at the time. And drawing closer to the pastor helps me to build character.
Hmm.
So I was daily being mentored by the pastor because when something needs to be done, he will call me. So every responsibility that I was given at the time was a learning process for me.
Right.
So, and also with the instruction coming from the pastor and achieving these things, making mistakes, corrected, in those mistakes, I was going through what we call mentorship. And it also helped me to avoid or to come out of the wrong crowd. And that's what a lot of young people, I'm sorry to say, we don't look for anymore.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And mentorship is very, very, very important. Nowadays, to really be mentored by successful people, you got to pay money for that.
Yeah.
People will
That's it.
charge you to
Yep.
mentor you.
Yep.
You get what I'm saying? And one of the
Hmm.
places you can find mentorship really exists is probably for free, maybe in a church, where you can have access, and that's why youth group is they are very, very important. And as we grew up, we start to join the YMCA and meet with other friends and start to associate with intellectuals, colleagues from different institutions and stuff like that. But mentorship helps you to shift your mindset. What is that? It also, you also find somebody you can trust, somebody you can talk to. When you're facing life threatening situation or facing, if you're facing mental situation, like you want to achieve something, you don't know how, it helps you, it gives you that avenue to ask questions, to
Right.
find a way forward. And that's what a lot of people don't have today.
Hmm.
Mentorship is lacking in our society. People say, oh yeah, we're willing to help, but are you willing to listen to me? Are you willing to deal with the complexity of situation that I have going in my mind? Do you have
Right.
enough patience to answer the questions that I need answer for? You get what I'm saying? And it's lacking. For some other people, it's available for them. They have both parents in the home they can trust, but some other people, they don't have any parent at all. Some other people only have single parent.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? And some other people have to turn to the internet to learn and mentor themselves from people that they will never meet physically. So mentorship is important. Whatever way you find yourself in life, dealing with peer pressure is common. One way of the other, every one of us in this life, whether we are already, but we are going to experience peer pressure, one way or the other.
Yep.
As you grow up, your challenge is it become different. Somehow it become even more difficult. Like a Nigerian song that say it's a Liberian song, right? That says to every new level
Yeah.
there
There's a new
is a
devil.
what? A new devil. What does
Mm-hmm.
that mean? You have to face new challenges every level of your life. So growing
Yeah.
up doesn't mean you totally escape peer pressure. There are other ways you will start to deal with peer pressure, not being able to provide certain things for your family, or you doesn't have certain accessories for your home, or there are so many other ways.
Yep. Sonny, are you there?
Hey, are you there?
All right. Well, while we wait for Sunday to come back, after you can go ahead from there to kick it up from there.
Okay. Yeah. Just like we were saying, um, it is laying on trusted friends. The key word that was mentioned is trusted, right? We say trusted. You got to, um, in other words, trusted friends are considered accountability partners. So they will hold you to what you say you are, to your values. In other words, they know your value, are aware that your value exists. Um, and they push you and they kind of prevent you from doing negative thing, and they help you in saying no. Uh, they help shape your mindset, shape a perspective of things, and give you uh, a true sense of your value. So,
Right.
in other words, you have to be conscious and aware of the friends you are making, and especially the adults or whoever your friends that you are making. Like we mentioned, like Sonny was mentioning, mentors. Um, Yes, it is difficult. None of this it is difficult now to find mentors. Well, a lot of people are willing to mentors, but also in order for people to reach out to those mentors, it is difficult now because um, we tend to l- we want for our mentors to tell us things that we want to hear, right?
Right. Exactly.
Not to give us that constructive criticism, and in other words, if a youth now or adults in their 20s, if they find a mentor, if you tell them, say, hey, you are doing great. However, this is why you know work on. They will never come to you ever again. They will cut you off. They will
Yep.
block your phone. And so yeah, finding that true source of someone that is aware of your value, that being honesty, right? Being honest, because you want the friends that we consider trusted people are people that you are feel safe around. You are vulnerable to, even the mentors, right? These are a safe space. They create a confined safe space that you can tell them or talk to them about anything, and you wouldn't feel judged. Um,
Right.
but however, they will give you the constructive criticism, right? Because you want them to be accountable. You want them to hold you to a standards of accountability. So
Yeah.
whatever you tell them that you are doing, that you are going to do, and they're going to push you. They're going to push you until they see you, succeeding, and then definitely uh, they can then say, "Hey, I feel like you are now comfortable. You are now safe now to make life choices or life carry on life decisions." So, for example, if you is someone who is addicted to cocaine or marijuana or any kind of drugs use, and they always take them to a detour or whatnot, and they always take them to get healed. So if they find out that they are better now, they are getting well now, they are safe around people, then they release them now in society that they are able to safe choices on their own.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Sonny, you are in speech, but you have some technical
I
breaking.
don't know. I
I think
can't
you
hear
want
you
to
guys,
continue.
man. If you hear me,
Yeah, we can
Yeah,
hear
we
you.
can hear
You
you.
can hear. You cannot hear us. Okay. Yeah. Why Sunday try to fix some things in the back there? I mean, I think like everybody say, and just that's just what it is. Being able to find people that you trust, and like we said, the key word is trusted because we previously discussed having friends in your cycle that are gonna influence you negatively and what have you. But now we want to we want you now to be able to find people that you can trust, people that are trusted, people that that are trusted. There are some of us we have people in our life that kind of hold us accountable for things we do. And these are the kind of people that you want. Someone that will push you, someone that will hold you at that standard, someone that will make you to feel like, okay, I need to do this, I need to keep doing this. And just like I've shared, many a time, especially obviously, this our young generation, we hate constructive criticism. I don't know why, but I'm someone that I love feedback, to be honest. Even at my job site, I always love to get feedback from people, even from my coworkers. Always, like I'm always like, hey man, like how do you see my work? Like how is my relationship? Like I know sometimes people will want to tell you what you want to hear, but a lot of time there are a lot of people. Trust me, 9 out of 10 times, someone will be there to tell you, say, hey man, you need to work on this, you need to work on that, you need to do that. And
Yeah,
many a times, a lot of us when we hear that, and yeah, we don't want to be corrected. If you're doing something wrong, and your friend tell you that, hey, what you doing is bad, you become agitated, you get mad. Oh, don't tell me what to do, you can't tell me what to do, this is my life. Yeah, it is your life, but that person, and like we said, no one is an island, bro. We are, one way or the other, we are all destined to help us, right? Like your lifestyle influences someone else's out there, and just like Sunday said, even the homeless people, if that lifestyle can influence someone out there, what more about you and myself? You know what I'm saying? So we need people to hold us accountable for things we do. We need mentors, and a lot of places sometimes you can be able to identify these people, or encounter these people, by going to some networking events. You know, be able to attend some networking events, personal development networking events, some seminars and stuff, even in the churches as well. uh, if not for our spiritual advisors, or what we say our spiritual fathers that some of us had in our life growing up, if not for them, we were not gonna be where we are. And Sona just share as a typical example himself. Even myself, growing up, the other than my mom and my dad was not very 100% around, but my spiritual father was always there. Like my pastor was like my go-to person at every single, even till now, you know, even now as compared to the way it was when I was growing up. But I mean, you know, he was always there, keeping an eye on things that I do. If he hears something, he call me, hey, I heard this, I heard that. You need to so like those kind of guardians, it kind of keep you aligned. It kind of keep you focused on where you want to be, and or where you want to go, and your final destination and stuff like that. It keep you well composed and stuff like that. So, and these are the kind of people we need in our life. Um, you may feel like you are doing something better, or you may feel like, oh, what you're doing is the best thing you are doing. But there are people out there that have eyes on you. There are people out there that are watching you, that are seeing you doing some things that are not good. And sometimes when we try to get these feedback from these people, or when people try to criticize these things that we do, we make it seem like an issue. So um and that's just one of the practical tips that we as young people, we can kind of take in, use, adapt, to be able to overcome this peer pressure out there. Because and to be honest, sometimes you might be following certain friends, and someone will come and tell you, say, hey, that friend you following, or we saw that person doing this, you saw that person doing that. Instead of you trying to be very careful with yourself and being conscious of yourself, you go and tell that person, oh, the person the person told me that, oh, you can do this and you can do that, and then you create that kind of animated between that person and the other person. Sometimes it's just to guide you, sometimes it's just to put you on the right track. But again, like we said, this generation, our generation, is like, we don't want to be corrected. That's just the fact. And also, we don't want to be mentor, bro. because the reason why you have mentor, that person is there to guide you. That person is there to tell you, give you, feedbacks on how things are going. You are there to relate with that person on things that you want to do to become a better person, and that person is there to be more like an accountability partner towards you. You know what I mean? Someone that gonna be able to tell you the right from your wrong. And once that person start to do these things, then we get offended. We don't want to be guided. We don't want to be directed. We don't want to be told what to do because we feel it. And just like Sandra just said, we feel that we know everything, forgetting to know that no man's an island, which is true. You know what I mean? You don't know everything. Sometimes what you're doing might be the wrong thing, and that person, that friends, or that co-worker or someone in your surroundings or in your setting kind of observes you doing that thing. That person can come about and tell you that, hey, what you're doing is wrong, and things like that. And all you need to do is just to accept it, reassess yourself, and kind of observe things that are going wrong or going right in your surroundings. So I mean, we all giving some real good tips here and some comments on this. But Sunday, can you hear us now? Can you?
Yeah, yeah. Let me apologize. I had a call coming in that disrupted
That's totally fine.
the connections. Yeah, apologize for that,
That's
gentlemen.
fine.
Yeah, but let me just how to call it quickly. The issue about mentorship, and you're not going to have somebody come up to you and say, "Hey, Alfred," or "Hey, Jusu, um, I want to mentor you." And
Yep.
that might seem weird. Like it's gonna,
Right.
it will bother you. It's gonna be so hard for you to even to submit to that mentorship
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
learn
For
from
real.
that person. So you, as a youngster, as a young adult, you have to desire,
Yep.
because it takes humility to
Right.
be mentor. You cannot sit here and then arguing with your mentor. Mentorship is like
Right.
taking instruction, confiding, what you're going through.
Exactly.
You got somebody to listen to you and stuff like that. Mentorship is not, somebody to argue with. Oh, the thing you telling me? No. Mentorship is somebody who supersede you. You are trusting to supersede your day-to-day activity.
Right.
Somebody that you're looking up to for advice. Somebody when you're going through life situation, you can trust to explain. Even God forbid you take somebody's life, you won't be able to talk to that person about whatever wrong you have done. You get what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And mentorship is following that person instruction, being able to trust the instruction of that person.
Yeah.
And we see mentorship throughout the Bible. We
Yep.
see mentorship throughout the Bible. The only Even when Jesus came on the face of the earth, he had an earthly father who had to mentor him at a certain point in time.
Yep.
Joseph, as
Yep.
his earthly father, had to mentor him at a certain point in time. And Jesus, he did not really mentor Jesus into spirituality because Jesus was God. He only mentored Jesus on the physical stuff. I said, if you read the
Yep.
Bible story that says Jesus was even a carpenter, who did he learn it from? His father.
Right. Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So mentorship helps you to develop your skills that you don't have.
Yep. Yeah.
And that's the
He.
important. And you have to
Mhm.
want it. You have to be desperate for it. The person you overlooking who, oh, I can't lie, that man mentor me because he broke. It has nothing to do with that man financial standing. One of the things you can learn from somebody who is not rich is how to not make the mistakes that they make.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm.
It's how to not make the mistakes that they make that get them into whatever situation they are in, or that make them couldn't reach to their full potential.
Yeah. Mm.
And there are point in time that if you allow this other person to mentor you and you are fully developed, there are point in time that it will happen naturally that you will see yourself, swaying to certain mentorship to for the next level.
Yeah.
But one thing I want to encourage is very sad to see a lot of young people. We don't have a mentor. We are not gearing for mentorship. We just living. We think we can do it all we know it all. We don't need
Yeah.
nobody
You
to
know it
advise
all.
us. We don't
Yep.
have nobody to trust. We don't have nobody. For me, I'm still in connection with my pastor back home in Liberia. We still talk. We talk about everything. Everything. We talked about it. When I went to Liberia, I had to pay an extra visit. We talked from in the morning to in the evening. I still went back to I'm not saying, oh, because I live in America now, so you can't mentor me anymore.
Yeah. You know.
No, I
You
still
never.
go
You
back to my
never
root,
class.
you know what I'm saying? And still pay that respect.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Right.
saying?
Right.
Because of
For
the
sure.
impartation that this man had made in my life. So mentorship is important. Even right now, me living in America, I am still on a mentorship. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
And I'm looking forward to see that grow to another level. And that's one thing we need to understand. Whatever we are trying, we want to achieve, find somebody, find a person. Nobody gonna come up to you and say, hey, Alfred, the way you looking
You
tall,
wanna.
or
Right.
the other day I saw you from the day forward, I'm mentoring you. Alfred be like,
No.
wait, what?
No.
It's that's something you will never really. So it means that
Yeah.
you, Alfred, Johannes, I'm have to be able to find a person say, moving forward, I want to submit to this person leadership.
Yep.
I will come to you for
Absolutely.
direction. Meet that person. Can you mentor me, sir? I'm so inspired by whatever you do, and I'm looking forward for your mentorship. If that person is led, they're not forced. If they
Mm-hmm.
are led, or something that will put you through trial to see, because mentorship is a responsibility. It
Yeah.
is a responsibility. And when you're
Yeah.
being guided, you have to be able to follow instructions. And it's gonna
Yeah.
help you a lot.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I think we all just share salient points on these tips, and it is a great time being here, and it was a great session today, a
Thank you,
great
gentlemen. Thank
discussion
you again.
today. um you know whenever we hear, it's just that we don't want to leave. That's how it looks like, because the conversation keep getting interesting and interesting each and every time. But you know every good thing has to come to an end. Overcoming peer pressure in adolescence and early childhood or adulthood is something that every one of us face. It is a reality, you know but like we shared today, these and many more practical tips are out there to help you overcome this. And there are a lot of things that you can do as young people out there, and us young people, to overcome this issue of peer pressure. So with that, I want to say thank you, gentlemen, for being here today. Thank you, Sunday, for joining us on this wonderful show, this beautiful morning. Taking up your precious time to be here, to educate, our audience out there, especially our young people out there. These are things that we weren't taught. A lot of us weren't taught these things, to be very honest. And it's great that this podcast is here, to educate us on some of these things. And this and many more episodes and many other topics going to be coming up. 2025 is our year to explore, our year of development. So we want to make sure that we are bringing, real life experience topics and things here to our audience, so we can all navigate it through and learn them. So it was great having you here. We'll just take a wrap up statement from you, uh, parting statement, whatever you have to say to our audience out there.
Uh, well, thank you to the open mic, Jusu and Alfred podcast. I really do appreciate the invitation, and I'm excited every time, to come up here and share knowledge with you guys. And I'm also inspired by what you guys are doing. And I will continue to say, keep working, keep doing your best, keep discussing issues. You don't know who's all out there listening to you. You don't know how many lives you are changing. You might not have the 50 million followers now, but at least you did not have any follower before. But you can count on 10 followers you have now. It means that you have achieved something. If you can
Yeah.
change fifteen people life in a year, you have achieved something. I don't know what are other expectations that you have for whatever you guys are doing, but I'm very sure that hard work and dedication pays. It means that it leads you to the place of achievement. So I
Correct.
would encourage you guys to keep doing your work, keep pressing on, and keep finding new strategies to improve. And we all hope for the best. Thank you again. And thank you all out there watching and the followers. I'm glad, for whatever impact you guys are making as well. Thank you.
Great, great, awesome. I mean, thank you again, Sunday, for being here. It's always a pleasure having you, and always wonderful to have you on the show, sharing your insights and experiences as well. Let's hear from you, Alfred, while we wrap this up real quick.
Yeah. Just like it was really nice. It's always a pleasure having you here to share your intelligence with us, with the audience. Um, and to our audience and listener, thank you again for joining us again for another edition of the Drew and Fair Open Mic podcast. Um, we do bring you reality talks. I mean, this we are like you always mention here. We are an expert at our opinion, at not our opinion, but at our experiences, right?
Right.
Again, you can think of us as you can be very opinionated of whatever thing you decide to think of us. That just means that you are subject to your opinion. Uh, so every day we try to make the best of the day to bring you life. It's a real life happiness. I mean, people just think that we're trying to like show off, or no. It's like these are things that were not taught earlier on growing up, and it could be from the family, it could be from the society, from anywhere in any stages in your life right now. We are basically sharing these tips to help everyone out there overcome these pressure here and peer pressure, which is very difficult to deal with. So thank you guys for listening to us, and yeah.
Yeah, absolutely, for sure. Thank you, audience. Thank you for being here always. Remember, we are here every Friday and Saturday, Sunday as well, 9 a.m. Eastern time. And we bring to you all the reality talks you think about here. And we are bringing you more and more and more to come, and more guests as well to be on the show. We are on Instagram Live and YouTube Live. Sooner or later, we will be live on Facebook as well. We are working on things. So for now we are on Twitch, YouTube and Instagram Live. So we are here 9 a.m. every weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday for our biblical show. And we bring you live biblical conversations here Sunday as well, entertainment and all of that. So with that being said, until we see you next time, stay true to yourself, be strong, and remember, you have the power to make your own choices in life. So, with that being said, we say have a good day, everyone, and enjoy your precious time. And see you next time.